Welcome to the first episode of the Milan Club SoCal podcast. I'm Spencer, your host, joined by Anthony, Ale, and Gio.
Introducing
Hey
What's up,
us.
guys? How
guys.
are you?
Yes.
Hey
All
everybody.
right. We got a jam packed podcast for you guys tonight. Um, First podcast, which we did do last week, had some technical difficulties. So this will be the first podcast. To start the USA tour, we were there both at the Rose Bowl and the Dignity Health Sports Park, and also the game in Vegas. But first, Real Madrid Milan. Um, it was a mostly Madrid fan base there, but we definitely made ourselves heard. Um, what do you guys think? What did you guys think of the game and the experience there?
I thought it was really cool, a good atmosphere, a lot of fans. Unfortunately, more Madrid fans. A little too hectic. I don't think, in comparison to the other games, the real passionate fans weren't there. There's a lot of plastic fans, as you call them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but overall, the play. I mean, as being our first friendly, quality of play wasn't bad. They're still getting their legs in for this season. So overall, really positive experience at the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What'd you think, Anthony?
Yeah, okay, it's good. Yeah, it was good. The Rose Bowl was good. Great exposure. It was amazing. We felt like we were the stars of the whole stadium comparison. It was almost
Mm-hmm.
better that we were outnumbered because we just stuck out so much, and it was
Mm-hmm.
an amazing experience. Yeah, found a lot more members or a lot more fans too that we got introduced to. So it was great, and I thought the players did really good. I was really happy with the performance of the team. Like it was very positive, even though the outcome wasn't exactly what we wanted, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
very positive moment and made me pretty hopeful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely made ourselves heard at that corner flag. We're a pretty sizable group, which was good. It was great when Tamori scored. He obviously celebrated in front of us. That was great. He acknowledged us. That was cool. What else, Gio? What else? What else about the Madrid game?
Bro, I was in Hawaii
Oh, that's
chilling,
right. That's right.
drinking. But I,
That's
I saw
right.
you guys the whole game, and like I said, I was really proud of the club, getting the recognition that we have. Because,
Mhm.
I mean, recently, like, Milan have been posting, like, clubs all over the world, and they
Yeah.
have left us out, especially for the Scudetto, our
Yeah.
Scudetto party was crazy, and then, they put other ones. So I'm just glad that the club got the recognition. And the game started off well, but it didn't end with the results. But it is what it is, man. It was.
Hmm.
I'm glad you guys got the recognition. The photos were cool. You guys got to meet Gold Baresi, and what else? Like, would you want more than that? And meeting Masato too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the best part, I'm sorry, of the Real Madrid game was outside the stadium. At least me
Mhm.
being hardcore, always following Italy in the World Cup. Masato and Baresi at the Rose Bowl after they played
Yeah.
there in the World Cup final in
Hmm.
'94 and actually missed penalties. And we just hop upped on the stage with them and just started chanting. It was insane. It was really surreal, man. Brought me back to being 7 years old and watching these two guys at the stadium, and now I'm sharing a stage with them. It's insane.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. A lot of people were like, "Oh, AC Milan, the Rose Bowl." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, the Rose Bowl was the final. They hosted the final of the '94 World Cup. I mean, 100,000 people were there. Um, yeah, pretty special stadium for sure." But yeah, I thought, in terms of the players, yeah, you could tell at least in that game, a little bit rusty, trying to, all right, try to get into more of the rhythm. Um, we did really good the first half. Gave up some two dumb goals. Sportiello with ball just went through his hands on the one goal. Um, and then yeah, we ended up losing. But it was a preseason game. Didn't expect them to be um, fully informed and everything like that. Um, but onto the Juve game. What'd you guys think about that one down there in Carson?
I thought it was weird, man. I mean, I'm gonna share my little experience. I wasn't with you guys because I didn't know how long I was gonna be on vacation, so I got my
Mhm.
own section, and it was crazy because I was sitting in front of like a UA fan, but
Mhm.
he was actually he was a UA fan, but he was cheering for Pulisic, saying that he was GOAT, and then he was cheering for Weah, which was so odd to me. I'm like, dang, these are the type of fans we're gonna get now. Like, I mean, shoot, just imagine, like, we stress, like, we don't really score that many goals, so we stress the whole season, and then just to have a fan like that, like, it's crazy. I don't know. That was
Mhm.
just like a weird experience, but it was great seeing the team again. I saw them, I think, Billy 2018 versus Manchester United. We ended the same way on penalties and we lost the game. Last time it was Cassie Skyner over the bar. This time we missed penalties. But I just like the whole atmosphere that they did. The little devil was out there, and
Mhm.
it was cool to see who's the biggest club outside of Italy, and that's Milan, because they had the taco stand. Juve had the taco stand. We had the big double decker bus. We had Go again and Masato, and they were giving out free haircuts, and they were selling that $400 Hot Wheel jersey there. So it shows you a difference. So if there's ever a Juventine out there and here in the States telling you that they're bigger than us outside of Italy, they're lying to you. They're like Dallas Cowgirls. They're big in Texas, but other than that, they don't travel.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure. It was no, it was another great one. I mean, we actually saw CDK score on a penalty, which
mhm.
saying a lot there. We were there, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, the Juventino. I mean, the Hollywood group that was there. I mean, we kind of said what's up a little bit, and but yeah, we outshowed them for sure.
Mhm.
I do like the and just to preface, there's only one group I know. I believe it's the Juve Fan Club Los Angeles. I don't know who those Hollywood weirdos are, but we the pregame was, or the what do you call it, the tailgating was pretty fun. And like I said, in respect to the Real Madrid game, those were real fans.
Mhm.
Because let's be honest, at the Real Madrid game, it was most just Real Madrid fans who just either follow, I don't know, because Ronaldo joined, or they just whenever
Mhm.
Real Madrid is playing, they're not real fans like us, waking up at 3, 6 in the morning, meeting up and watching the games. Those Juve fans, though, at the Home Depot Center, or the what do you call it, the Dignity Sports Health
Yep.
Arena, those are pretty hardcore fans. So it was less people, but way more intimate. The Juve fans like us actually knew some of the chants, knew their history. So I'll be honest, I actually preferred that game over the Real Madrid game, even though the quality of play in the first half was good. But we played our Primavera squad pretty much in the second half, so
Mhm.
that was disappointing. Even though they got to get their legs, they got to get their experience too. But it just sucks when your team comes all the way out there and they only play one half with the big names, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the crowd there for sure. There's definitely a lot of, you could tell, hardcore, not even just Milan or Juve fans, but like Italian national team fans and Calcio fans in general. There's a pretty cool atmosphere there. Um, Definitely a good mix of, maybe I would say maybe, I don't know, half Milan fans ish to the half kind of Juve fans, maybe somewhere in there. But it was a great time. Good game, although we lost. I think it finished 2-2, right? And then it went to penalties.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we saw CDK score probably maybe his only goal in a
Yeah.
Milan shirt. Obviously, we'll talk about CDK later, and has moved on to Atalanta now. Um, but
Who scored? Giroud, and I know Giroud scored the second one.
Giroud
Who scored the
scored. Who scored the first one?
Oh,
Joe.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe. Yep. Yeah, Chow scored the
Did you guys
header.
get a free haircut or no?
What?
No,
Not. They were giving out free haircuts, bro. And the
no.
What,
UA,
The Juve people?
yeah.
Be careful.
Instead
Free
of
haircut.
instead of having like Del Piero there who lives in LA, there they gave free haircuts.
I'm
Be
actually.
careful.
Yeah.
The
Go
Juve
ahead.
people, they give you a free haircut, but they steal your wallet while they're cutting your hair.
Mm.
So I'd be careful of
Yes.
that.
Yes. I was surprised too that even Chiellini didn't, come out for like like the way like Baresi and uh, Masato came out. You would think that these
He,
players were,
I saw a
you know,
picture of him at the Angel game with
oh,
the
he was the Italian night.
Juventus
Yeah.
Hollywood was over there with him. Yeah.
If I had attended that game, I would have still yelled at him.
Yeah.
Um, anyway,
But Spencer, he's one of us. He's a Milan fan. No, no, it's documented. He said it out of his own mouth that he
Yeah.
grew up watching Milan and loving Milan. So
And didn't Del Piero too, when he was starting his career, he had a choice between Milan and Juve. I think he had said, or I think I saw that somewhere, a video or something.
Ale should know more.
Yeah, all I would
Let's
know.
be honest. Who didn't grow up watching Milan and admiring Milan? So that's every child, especially anyone born before, let's say 95 or 96, man. Pretty
Mhm.
much, or even up to 2000, man. Every young person, and this is straying off, but every young person, the first team was Milan, because that's the first team you saw on TV. That's the first European big global team. So I'm
Yep.
not surprised.
Yep. Well, so after that game, we watched the Barcelona Milan game in Las Vegas. Um, Me and Anthony had taken the trip out there. Um, it was interesting uh, in the sense that there was a lot of plastic fans on the Barcelona side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Barcelona theme, before the game kicked off, they played, the themes to both teams, and the Barcelona one played first, and I think people were like, "Oh, we have a song, let's clap, let's try and sing along." Awful.
Shocker.
They
Um,
had the Barca, Barca. They had that one down.
that was their only chant. They really
Yeah.
knew only one chant. Meanwhile, the Milan fans were pretty sporadic and spread out um, throughout the crowd, but occasionally you'd hear, multiple chants, from a few of them. I know for sure by the Barca Milan game, my voice was trash after the Madrid and Juve games, so I couldn't even yell if I could. Um, but it was an interesting game. Obviously, I think it was Ansu Fati who scored that goal. It was a great goal from him, but terrible defending. I think we left too much open space there in the back that let him get there in the top corner of the box and slot that thing in. Um, but it was kind of a frustrating game for me to watch because having watched Milan, especially last season towards the end, the second half of the season, it just brought back those kinds of frustrations. Um, you know, um, just watching them play. Um,
So
so
how do you guys feel about the defense with this preseason? Do you think it is a concern or it's preseason? I mean, for one, Mignon. I mean, the backup keeper was horrific. Even looking at him practice with Mignon, like at one point he couldn't even. He was trying to give like practice shots for Mignon, and he couldn't even hit the target at the goal. Which I mean is he's not his goals. He's not obviously trying to score goals, but I mean if you're trying to pass from the back, um, that's you got to be on target. It's really concerning, I think, for me. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, but even with you saying that, it's still a huge improvement at Tata.
Well, yeah,
we love Tata, but
Just
he's definitely improving.
remember where we came from, and remember where we are now.
gratitude.
Yep, yep, for sure. Um,
No, but the defense, I think with our wingers, and I've seen some Twitter guys post screenshots of our friendlies. Um, I think Pioli's going to play at least with the players we got um, this transfer market. He's going to try and I think play more possession, where we were more counterattacking football last season, especially that
Mhm.
Napoli game that we went through the semifinals. I don't know if you remember. It was just all counters, great defense.
Mhm.
Sometimes playing a defense by the just getting off by the hair of your chest. But I think this season with the players we got, play a little bit more possession, a little bit higher press. So I so if that's the case, I think our wingbacks might be maybe attacking a little bit less. See some Twitter guys posting about how we're having inverted fullbacks now in order to help keep possession. So Teo and Calabria kind of playing a little bit more inverted instead of going up and down the wings because we have a little bit more faith in not only Leao but Chukwueze as well on the right. So
Mhm.
hopefully that puts a little bit less pressure on our defense because we were absorbing a lot of pressure just and then just kind of playing on counterattacking football. So But those preseason games, I don't put anything in them. So we'll see with Bologna, Torino, and Roma. See how that goes.
Mhm.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Gio?
I mean, to me, it's like like the defense is wide open, man, and I think that comes down to lack of a DM or somebody that control the ball. Like I don't know if I want to go over, it, but I was really pissed that we didn't go for Rovella because he's a different type of DM. He could dictate the pace of the game and he could hold the ball, you know. Or there's another type of DDM that's a destroyer. All he's doing is intercepting the balls and then giving it to a person that could move the ball field. But to me, that's what I think it is. It's the midfield, and to me, I don't know. I'm very disappointed that they say that Krunic is like what did they say? I can't think of the word, but I saw in the report. He's like he's crucial to the 4-3-3. I never heard of a mediocre player be crucial to a 4-3-3. I'm like, dude, they giving him that propaganda, like if he's like prime Busquets or something like that, or that's gonna do all that stuff. I think, I mean, if we play Musa, if he's up to it, I guess because he could cover a lot of space. That's the only good thing about Musa. He has a lot of pace and he could cover a lot of space, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
it'll work out. But I think that the midfield we're getting ran through, and if we could shore up the midfield, then I think we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what you're
Bef-
saying is we need a player like a mix of Gattuso and Pirlo that can
Hmm.
defend and distribute the ball. I think I have one player we can get. Unfortunately, he plays for Newcastle. He was just sold for 80 million. But man, if we had him in the midfield, it would have been great.
yeah.
Oh
Uh,
dang! The guy that
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 guy.
had never played like this because I think the manager is holding everybody back.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into these discussions in a little bit, but
Spencer's
Tarika,
like, hold on.
we gotta stick to a schedule somewhat. But we do have to talk about the meet and greets because those were just awesome. Um, I wasn't able to make the one at Nikki's. I think you guys were. There was Giroud, Pulisic, uh, Kalulu, and Florenzi, right? And
Yep.
so they kind of took pictures and signed stuff for all the fans there. You guys can obviously speak to that because I wasn't there. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, we were right there next to him. It was like it felt like a dream. It felt like it was not real. But I mean, yeah, I got there super early. We waited outside like it was Comic Con or something. But um, but yeah, it was amazing. Um, yeah, I think Pulisic, he seemed a little sad. Like I don't know what was going on with him. Um, Druid was just seemed tired to me, but Pulisic, I like I don't know. I was just wanted to talk to him for a bit, but obviously you couldn't. But just want to see what was up with him. But yeah, it was
Didn't have his
amazing.
milk and cookies.
Florenzi was a dope cat though. He was dope, man. He just seemed like he was good spirited. Kalulu too. I was like saying something to him. He probably didn't understand a word I was saying, but he was like, "Yeah, yeah." So good dude. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, after that, um, we had the meet and greet at the BMO Stadium, which is where LAFC plays. That was pretty awesome. So we got in, we sat down, we actually watched the team practice live, do a full practice session for I think about an hour. They practiced. That was really cool to see. Um, After they were done practicing, they brought us all down to the field, um, and we all kind of waited, had a bunch of pictures taken with the team, had stuff signed. That was a really cool experience. A lot of the players came out, um, signed some stuff. What'd you guys think of that experience?
I don't want to complain, but I mean, we got lucky. Don't get me wrong. It's just maybe it's my fault. I had this idea that we'd become best friends with some of the players. We'd go to Milan
Mm.
to meet them. They'd come here. We'd go to Raging Waters or something together, you know. But it was way less now. But for real, it was great. I just feel like it could have been a little more intimate. They just let a bunch of random people in at the end too. It really
Yeah.
like I mean, we're the ones that like really promote the brand or promote the team. We especially with our meetups and I don't know how much merchandising goes through us as well. So I thought maybe something a little bit more intimate for us would have been nice. But great either way. I'm not complaining. I guess I am, but whatever.
Yeah. I had a similar kind of. I thought it would be a little bit more intimate. Um, but yeah, when we got there, obviously they said if you're on the list, you're on the list. If you're not, different line. But I think they ended up just letting everybody who kind of pretty much showed up in. Um, but what Gio, Anthony, what you guys think of that one, that experience?
Oh, I was next to you the whole time, Spencer. But you know what was really I think it was you out there that was saying like they should let us go first, which I think would should have been good. And you know that photo that they posted on their website? They only told Milan Club SoCal to get up, and then everybody else got up. And then they were like, "Oh well, we had to take the picture because they
Yeah.
wanted to put the whole banner."
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody, like the guys, got up in front of us. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that's why. Shout out to Presidente. He says that I was like, man, no, I was just in shock because it was supposed to be our photo, and then everybody else just said, nah, let me be
Yeah.
in this photo with the thing. So I think that they should have let us. I think they switched a lot of things. Like when Nikki's, they said that they were gonna let us in to do a couple things, and then we could get a sign ball and then like take a picture with the team, and then they switched to okay either or, and then it was just crazy. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that's Pulisic, that's the marketing. You're gonna get a lot of fans that are there for Pulisic and stuff. And like Ale said, they said, "Oh, you could buy the white jersey." Well, we only had the Pulisic name. He said, I think he said, "Oh, that was funny." But to me, I think they should have let us go. Cause it was crazy. Cause like I knew I had came back from vacation. I gained a couple pounds, but bro, my girlfriend had to take so many close pictures because if not, people would sneak into the railing
Mm-hmm.
and move you out the way, which is not cool to me.
Yeah.
Especially us that are branding in the connections that we have, and then you guys did everything. Especially at the Real Madrid game, they should have at least gave us our piece to get everything. Cause even Jose, like shout out to Jose, he went with his kids and they were like trying to crush the kids. Like people just needed to relax. We just needed it. If they would have kept it to the 100, I think everything would have been cool. But
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for
Pulisic,
sure, for sure.
Pulisic
Yeah.
came in and everything.
Yeah. Still not complaining, but could have been a little bit better, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. I mean, eventually, yeah. They still recognize us. They know what's up. I mean, everybody
Mm-hmm.
else kind of jumped on board and got the limelight as well. But yeah, it was a amazing experience. You could yell whatever you want, even whether you want them to hear it or not. They would be right there. It was like an echo. It was incredible. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was an amazing experience. Which I gotta say, I know, like, but yeah, we got to see the training ground. We actually got to see the behind the scenes. I feel like we got to see
Mm-hmm.
they did like a little fun game in the beginning where they played. I don't know what it was. You like almost I don't like a capture the flag type game, but that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see them warm up like that. We got to see Adley behind the scenes, which I think I see why Pioli doesn't like him because he did pretty shitty on the training ground. Just to let everybody know, just to give you the inside look. But yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. And shout out to Milton for reminding us that Chiellini did show up to the Milan practice. So he came out. He was talking to a
Yeah,
bunch of the
that was
the
weird.
side assistants and coaches. He was hanging out there. Obviously, he has access because he's an LAFC player, and
Yeah, I
it
guess
was
so.
their stadium. Um, but yeah, great experience. So going on the Mercato, we kind of touched on it a little bit. Who do you guys think have been our best signings? What else do we need to sign? What do you guys think on the Mercato?
Well, just to transition from the plastic fans that joined for Pulisic, we can go into our transfer market discussion. Um, what I think, at least, that's the one problem I have. Signing players for marketability over their actual usefulness on the pitch. But I think that at least Pulisic was that signing. I think we saw in the games. Like I said, I don't place a huge importance on the friendlies, but I think it is a little preview of what we're going to see with Pulisic, and I think Chukwueze is the other signing is definitely going to start over him on the right wing. I think he's just going to pop in here and there. Overall positive transfer market, though, I would say, other than losing Tonali, losing Maldini, losing. That's another discussion, though, but
Mhm.
um, not bad with the money we got for Tonali, even though we saw Tonali's class in the first game with Newcastle.
Yep.
So you don't think you just say Pulisic's not going to start, or he is going to start?
I don't think so, honestly. I think he's, and I'll probably get crucified by the new Pulisic fans. I think he's a little soft, honestly. Um, I think technically, quality-wise, he is pretty good. Don't think physically he's there. I don't think we've seen with Dortmund he was all right, but then he did make the big money move, and I think he's kind of coddled by his fans. I don't know if you saw Chelsea fans. A lot of Chelsea fans that joined because of Pulisic. As soon as Pulisic started getting benched, guess what? We're not Chelsea fans. We're actually Pulisic fans more than Chelsea fans, and that's what I do worry about Milan because Milan doesn't need those kinds of fans. And I hope I'm not alienating anybody here, but this is about the team, not about the player. And I think mentally that does hurt him. I don't think mentally he's a strong enough player. Like he gets benched a few times. I think he might be kind of like CDK, where you saw that. Like I think CDK, his problem was he just got down on himself. He has the quality, but you can see in his play, it's just like giving up and stuff. So I don't think Pulisic is going to be the starter. I like Chukwueze fast. I saw his Villarreal highlights. Technical ability, can pass, good shooter, cut inside. So I don't think Pulisic is going to start.
Yeah, no, I I agree. I think with the 4-3-3 that Pioli's kind of been trying to do, there's no room for Pulisic. He's either going to be a backup to Leao, but apparently Okafor is going to be that backup, um, or he's the backup to Chukwueze, obviously on the right, which is fine. But I think he would definitely have started if it was a 4-2-3-1, which we've been playing for the past 2 seasons or so. Um, in that cam role, it would have been really good, I think. But considering that we don't have really any DMs, basically, I think Pioli's going to stick to the 4-3-3, which Pulisic is definitely going to be on the bench for games. It's going to happen. Obviously, he's going to start some because of the schedule. We got Champions League, we got Coppa Italia, we got the league. There's a lot of games to play, but he's not starting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Gio.
Now we saw him at practice, Ale. Batasagi beat him up. Like, let's be honest. We saw him and Siemens beat him up on the right, and he was like limping and stuff like that. To me, he needs to. We need to go back to that formation that Spencer just said, 4-2-3-1, or whatever it is, and he needs to be in that 10 role because as you've seen when I don't know what game we played recently, but as soon as he moved into the middle, he was able to create the penalty. So,
Mhm.
O versus Monza. So, I mean, I think that's what he's better at. He looked better on the left, but on the right, he's not going to work. But now that's on Pioli. He has to see, where we're going to get the best of. And they're already reporting that we're going to see the same lineup that we've been seeing all, all, all through the preseason games, last two preseason games.
Oh, really?
Pulisic on the right, Giroud up top, and
Yeah.
Lea on the left,
Yeah, that's
and then
horrible.
the same midfield. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
That's a
but the
nightmare.
problem is, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say like, yeah, I just don't want him on the right. Yeah, he kept every time he was on the right, and that was the whole preseason and practice, training ground. He was on the right, and he just wanted to dribble to the middle, and then yeah, like Gio said, as soon as he got to the middle roll and had the ball, he carried the penalty on that one game. So I don't know if Chuka was just not ready. Like I don't know what was going on there, and that's he was just replacing him for the moment. But anyways, yeah, go LA.
Yeah, Chuku couldn't make it because he couldn't get his visa in time
Right.
to travel to the U.S.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pulisic, I think definitely talented, very talented. And unfortunately, I think Pioli, the way he's moving to the 4-3-3, it just leaves Pulisic out from the starting 11. Um, like I said, he'll start some games just because we got a lot of games to play. Um, I hope he does well because obviously, if he does well, Milan should be doing well. Um, but I guess we'll have to see already on Monday, the 21st, Bologna, the start of the season. So we'll see. And then we have Junior Macias, speaking of the right wing, going to Genoa. Um, how do you, or what are you gonna? How are you gonna remember Macias? I think
He
I'm gonna
re-
remember him as he helped us win a Serie A, which he did. He definitely uh, scored that winner against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. But otherwise, I don't know. What do you
You
guys
gotta
think?
love you gotta love the guy's story, man.
Oh, his
I
story's
think
amazing. It's
I
amazing.
think he made it. I think he made his contributions to the team.
Hmm.
Given his quality, he always tried his best. I think. I mean, we bought him for 8 million from Crotone. He came up from Serie D. He was delivering refrigerators in Torino, and a player like that contributed way more last season than a player like CDK, who got no offense to him, but a player of 35 million euros with Belgian pedigree and all that. So I think I never hated the guy. He played because we had no other choice. People say, "Oh, he shouldn't have played the derby against the in the semifinal of the Champions League last year." But in the end, would starting Salamakers really made a difference? So he had his shot. We got some crucial players in now to fill that right wing role. And that right wing role, we have Chukwueze, we have Pulisic. Don't forget, we still got Salamakers.
Hmm.
So um, but I think Macias, that the best memory is going to be that Atletico Madrid goal. The guy coming from being a truck driver to scoring in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
I got nothing but respect for the guy and
Yeah.
I appreciate everything he did for the team.
Yeah. I mean, to be an immigrant from Brazil to Italy and work his way up through, Serie D all the way up, it's an amazing story. It really is. Uh, Anthony,
and,
you
Oh, me.
no,
and,
no comment.
nah, he that header, man, and he repaid because he was on loan for 2.6 that first year. So he
Hmm.
repaid his loan right there because if
Hmm.
every game you win in the Champions League is $2.6 million in the coffers. So hey, he repaid his loan. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
he
shout
was.
out
Yeah,
to Macias, and he's like a god in Genoa, man. They thinking like
Hmm.
he really Messi in Genoa. They're like acting like he's a god and everything. That's crazy over there.
Yeah. I wish him all
Genoa
the
got a
success.
bargain, 2.5 million. They
Yeah,
got a
2.5.
bargain on their
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah. I wish him all the success. But obviously we just know when we transfer teams to other Italian teams, they're probably going to score against us.
yeah.
We'll get
No, it
into
was.
CDK in a bit, but
Yeah, no, as well said, Spencer, about Macias. I mean, yeah, he did what he needed to do. He was just like a really like substitute teacher kind of thing. Like not like a teacher, but yeah, just good play, like a good filler in for that spot because we didn't have anybody. But um, yeah, I mean, happy to see him go though because every time Pioli would put him in, I would just be like, you know, just banging on the table, just like what the hell are you doing, putting him in? And then when he extended his contract, it was like even more like what the f, like like how could you possibly extend his contract like that? But I'm just glad to see him go. Thank you, but I'm glad to see that door close and be done
yeah.
be done with it.
Yeah, so speaking of closed doors, we can get into the hot topic of Krunic. So first, it was reported that he was trying to get over to Fenerbahce in Turkey, um, and then Pioli and management, they wanted to keep him. So I think they extended his contract, or I don't know. I don't know if those reports are true. It looked like he was going to stay, and now, as of pretty much today, there's more reports saying that Fenerbahce is turning around. Um, they're trying to up their bid to 7 million. Krunic apparently does say he wants to go. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I think we're definitely going to be short a defensive midfielder. Not, Krunic isn't naturally a defensive midfielder, but he's right now the closest thing we've got.
With me, with Krunic, man, like Like now he put in a transfer request today, so he actually wants to leave. What I just don't like is like just keep the same energy about him. There's no slack. There's nobody talking shit about him. I remember when Mr. Newcastle he left. Everybody called him a stripper. That he left for the money, and then this guy like I don't know like the propaganda on him. I'm gonna say I don't want to get political, but he got that propaganda like Trump. Like everything that Trump is saying is like 100% to a lot of people, but it's just crazy. Now, I didn't want him to leave because of continuity. He was the only midfielder that we had, but not as a starter. And then now they want to give him like a pay rise. He wants like 4 million, and then they found out that they didn't actually want him, and that's not the salary that they're gonna give him. So they pulled the contract renewal from him. And now today he put a transfer request. I don't know. I just feel that they thinking like Krunic is Busquets, and he's nothing. Like not even one toe Busquets is Krunic, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's a good utility player, but that's not. He cannot start 40 to 50 games. And with Pioli as a manager, he'll start him 40 to 50 games because he doesn't care. So I just hope we find a resolution, and that's the only thing that worries me this season is hopefully the midfield finds continuity with each other because they never played before with each other. So
That is going to be the huge key because the chemistry in the midfield is going to be tough. Basically have a brand new midfield with Musa, and I think the biggest revelation of our transfer market has been Reindeer so far. He's been
Mm.
so impressive, so much potential. But I don't like Krunic, man. He's using leverage, man. Because you know what a player asks for a transfer request or a pay raise at the end of the transfer market. He's just looking out for his, honestly, and he just wants his payday because he knows Milan are in a tough position with Benacer out. So if you were a real man, a real player, and you respect the club, if you really want to leave, that's fine. But you ask at the beginning of the transfer market. You don't ask 2 weeks before the season where Milan have to scramble now and find another midfielder. So I don't respect that at all. That's the huge difference between him and Tonali. I still continue to say that Tonali was forced out. If Milan would have rejected that offer, obviously he wouldn't have went. He would have never made any grumblings about leaving and going to Newcastle. Krunic, on the other hand, is taking advantage of the situation. Dude, he is who he is because of Pioli. He came from Empoli for like 8 million or something like that. Wait, did he come from? Yeah, he came from Empoli, I think.
Mhm.
And if it wasn't for Pioli and Milan, I mean, he might be at a mid-level club at best. So he's able to win a Scudetto. He's able to play in the Champions League semifinal because of us, and so that's very disrespectful. And so if he wants to go, he did no player is bigger than the badge on the shirt. So if you want to go, go. I mean, it'll be tough. Remember, we do have Benacer coming back in January, so but that's half a season gone. But it's not worth keeping a player who doesn't respect the badge or and wants to leave.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think he's. I think we're at the next level. I mean, I think Krunic is. We're thankful for him, but yeah, with Musa, Rangers, I love Robin. Robin's my dude. I think he's gonna be amazing this season, um, and he's gonna really change the game. He's been playing like he's been with us for a while, so I'm really excited for him. And I think we just got to move on. And then yeah, I think Pioli just kind of looks at him as just kind of like that person that's been like Gio said, like had that continuity, and that we could rely on him. But doesn't mean you promote the guy. You don't put him in starting string just because you like him. If he doesn't have the skill, he doesn't have the skill, and that's just all there is to it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
why?
go
Where
ahead, Jay.
was this fight for Tonali though from Pioli? Because Pioli doesn't want to let him go. Where was this fight from him?
Yeah.
No. That wasn't. No. Hold on.
Uh,
There was no fight from Pioli because upper management saw the 80 million and said, "Hey, there's our transfer market budget. We can invest it. Invest it smartly. Don't get me wrong, but where's the money? 120 million we made from Champions last year. Where are we investing that money? So we could have easily got some from our coffers and put it in the transfer market and kept Tonali. 80 million for Tonali is hard to turn down, but it is uh, especially considering a player like Tonali, who loves the badge, is a Milan fan, grew up a Milan fan, took a pay cut to join the team. when Milan came interested, Maldini came in. There was actually from Brescia, Inter was negotiating for him. He said, "No, no, 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 stop everything. I'm going to Milan." So, what was Pioli going to do if upper management wants to sell a player? And once the upper management wants to sell a player, and the player feels like, "Hey, there's no confidence in me as a player anymore. They want me out. What am I going to do? Stay someplace I don't feel welcome. I'm not wanted. What are you going to do?" Because there's a lot of people that saying, "Oh, Tonali could have rejected the offer." Yeah, but your upper management has already abandoned you as a player. Okay, as any self respecting man would. Okay, I'm not wanted. I go somewhere where I'm wanted.
I do like the transfers. I think it's successful at this point. I think with Okafor, if we need more of a striker, though, I think that would have been the complete thing. If we got more of a striker, I would have said good move for. I mean, I love Tonali, but for all that money, and we came a complete package, but
Mhm.
we still didn't get a striker really. I mean, well, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen enough from Okafor, and if the idea was that he's just a backup for Liao, then we're screwed because we just relying on Giroud, and that's no good.
Yeah, Pioli will hang on to Giroud until Giroud's limbs fall off, I think. But yeah, I mean, Taremi would have been great. I mean, obviously the Mercato's still open. Um,
Yeah,
obviously, I hope that his success in at Porto and the Portuguese league would transfer over to the Serie A. But obviously, Porto's asking, I think what 30 million, and he's
Once Milan came
31 or
knocking,
32. Yeah, they
yeah,
just bumped up the price. Of course, they said, "Oh, you got Tonali money, you can spend it." Um,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the financial books say on all of our transfers. I think we spent like 120 million if you just look at the total transfer cost, but obviously with amortization, we're probably looking more at like a net spend of maybe 50 this season, probably less than that. Um, and obviously, assuming we got the Tonali money all up front from Newcastle, which should have happened, given that they're basically owned by Saudi Arabia. Um, I mean, in terms of the balance books, we look fine. So there should, in theory, be enough cash for a striker, a DM. You know, um, I think Loftus Cheek looks amazing. I think he looks really good. Reinders, of course, he looks great. I hope Musa's good. We haven't really seen much of him. We'll kind of talk about the Milan preseason games, hopefully. Um, but it looks like you want to say something, Gio.
No, man. I
Yeah.
mean, no. I like what Ali was saying about the thunder, but I'm just saying, like on my aspects, like I know that money's right there, but I mean, if you want to keep on going to the next level, you just don't let a player like that go. Like he's like loving on Kunis. No, I need 15 million to let him go. No, he's not worth 15 million. Imagine if you only would have said, "I need 160 million for Tonali to let him go." Then nobody's gonna come
Yeah.
in with. Oh, maybe Chelsea might have came in with that offer, but I don't know. It's just crazy to see how like I don't know. He thinks he's bigger than us, and to me, don't let the. And I've been getting a lot of fights with not fights, but just like arguments with people. Like, okay, you put him on a 3 net million salary, right? He's declining because he's already what 30, 31. What is the main problem that Milan has right now? We can't get rid of players because we put them on high salaries for Serie A, and we can't get rid of them. Look at
Mhm.
Montolivo. He didn't leave until it was over, baby. He said, "Nah, I'm right." Look at Bakayoko. He said, "No, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm chilling. I'm eating some good pasta. I'm looking at the women, and I'm just chilling. I'm gonna collect my check." And that's what he did.
Isn't that
So
like a
it's
To
just
be
retail
crazy.
fair,
though?
Montolivo wanted to leave 2 years before, but he was
Yep.
so slow that it took him 2 years to get out the door.
Oh, right. And he was running full speed.
And he was our
Yeah.
captain. They didn't want to get rid of him. But anyway, moving on to Atalanta, CDK. We kind of touched about this a little bit. Um, I think CDK is probably going to do pretty well at Atalanta. Um, hopefully he does, um, because either we're going to sell him or we're going to say no, we want to keep him. But what do you guys think? I think the guy's got football brains somewhere in there. Obviously, this season only showed up one assist. I still think it's crazy that he was almost a 30 goal and assist player in Belgium uh, the season prior, and then he came to us and just just, just nothing. Um, I don't know. What do you guys think about CDK going to Atalanta?
Might be the best 1-2 punch in the league after Osterman and it was Gamaka on him, and then the PEDs they're gonna start lifting. Boom, big PEDs on. They're gonna watch. You're gonna see like he not even gonna be able to move CDK like in 2 to 3 months. You'll see that. No, I think that he went to a perfect system and he's gonna play the Illich role. You know, Illich play left wing, right wing, 10, false nine, a lone striker. So I think to me in this type of modern game, what they call it calcio, I don't think really CDK has like an actual role. He's just like a roamer player. And
Mm-hmm.
he just needs to be all over the pitch to be able to be successful. And that's
Yeah,
what he's gonna do at Atalanta because they're all attack.
yeah,
Even their
I
center backs attack.
yep.
I think Gasperini is the perfect coach to handle a player like that, and Atalanta is the perfect nurturing system for a young player like that. So, and if they do end up buying him, because they do have a buy option to purchase that we can't counter, so he'll be like Atalanta's most expensive ever signing. So, I think uh, I think he's gonna do well, honestly, especially when he plays against us. He's got something to prove.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be less pressure. I think with Atalanta, they surprise you. Like yeah, they'll be a pretty good team. So I think he's definitely gonna score on us. But yeah, I'm just glad he's out because yeah, I didn't see it happening with us. I don't know if it was the pressure, but yeah, best to him.
Mm-hmm. I think also it was it it was definitely a Maldini signing. He wanted him. It sounded like Pioli did not want him, um, and that kind of I think reflected
Creates a weird
in
vibe.
some of his performance. Yeah, yep, exactly. And it just if to me I get total Pakata vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, obviously Pakata right now he might be on his way to Manchester City for almost 100 million. Um, and uh, I guess we'll have to see. Um, moving along though, we had preseason games in Milan. They played obviously Monza, Trento. Um, was it a Tunisian team? I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
cannot.
Yeah, Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tunisia.
I can't pronounce that name. Sorry. And then Novara, I think as well. What did you guys think of those games from the team?
I mean, I just seen this. Pulisic isn't gonna work on the right wing, but yet here comes a little Tunisian team, and he has to have 3 assists. What did you know? He's gonna start as a right wing on Monday because Philly now is gonna think he's an assist. But to me, like he can't just assist. He needs to score. He needs to have like
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 goals, and like 10 assists, for us to be successful and the marketing asset that he is. Because if he does that, then we're gonna get more fans.
Mm-hmm.
I say it in quotations, more fans, because they're gonna be like, oh, let's get on this Pulisic bandwagon stuff like that. So I mean, the only thing we weren't scoring the first two that much, and then we just exploded the last 2 games. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they're ready, they're fit. I mean, and the only problem that I have right now is like, yo, Dale, get your stuff together. You look like you've been
Mm-hmm.
on a bender in Vegas for like 4 weeks, and you're just walking all over the pitch. Come on, man. You got 6 days to get ready, and let's go. We're gonna need you, man. It's 6 days, right? Or am I?
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
only well today's
next
Tuesday, so
Monday.
yeah, six
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So six
Yeah,
days. So we're gonna need you.
Yeah, and we
yeah.
really
I
don't
mean,
have any backups either. We still don't have any backups, especially for Deo. So yeah,
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. I think
yeah, we have two.
Bartasagi looked
Yeah,
great. Was it Bartasagi, right? I think he
Yeah.
looked pretty good in the preseason
okay,
games as a left back.
okay,
Um,
yeah.
I think he looked good. Um, obviously now I think too in the Mercato we're trying to look for another center back. Um, I don't see why we don't keep a Simic or Simic. He's obviously our youth player. We should use him. That's what I think. Um, you know, why have the youth team if we're not going to really use them and try to see what their potential is? If they flop, they flop. But if they're good, they might come good. But we have to afford them that chance. This is my opinion on that.
And
But yeah,
we had players that did good last preseason, didn't show up the whole season, and it was totally not an season that we expected. So I'm just excited about these freaking games. They need to come already. So let's go.
Let's also keep in mind that these are preseason friendlies, at least in my opinion, mean nothing.
Yeah.
We played Trento, we played a Tunisian championship team, and Monza. Monza was probably the biggest test. And the only real importance I place on Monza is because of Tuffa Berlusconi. It was a nice little thing, a little nice nod to our president who passed away in June. But like I said, the preseason friendlies, especially with this many new signings, the team is still gelling. We'll see on the pitch against Bologna. And I know I already called it. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but the last time we had a Bologna opener, it was after a huge transfer market, this summer huge transfer market. I believe we got Ronaldinho. Shevchenko came back on loan. We had 3 Ballon d'Ors on the team, Kaká, and a lot of excitement around the team. And we put a Bologna team in kind of decline, not really expecting much from them. Like this year, Thiago Motta says they're not ready for Serie A. Bologna with the legendary Vagliani, if anybody remembers him, we ended up losing 2-1 at the San Siro. So many parallels to that opener, man.
It's very very biblical of you. Revelations, right?
Yes. Well, let's pray that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of speaking, we kind of mentioned some of these concerns we have this season. Are we concerned, or do you have any concerns about Pioli's job? I think the way this Mercato has gone after we got rid of Maldini, Pioli was rumored to have more say in the transfers, whether that's true or not. But if it is, then I think his job is entirely on the line this season. Based on the amount of investment that we've made, I think it's a make or break season for Pioli. Obviously, he still has 1 year left on his contract, but with the amount of investment that we've made, I think for sure the management, especially the new ownership, they're watching us perform. If we don't perform, he will be sacked. But if he gets sacked, in my opinion, I don't even know who would replace him. I don't know any other managers that are really available per se that can just jump right in. But what do you guys think?
I think they're gonna wait to see if he hits top 4. If he doesn't, then he's gone, and that's it. But I think they're gonna wait. I don't think they're gonna do a January mishap like they did in the past. Where they just keep going through managers and just fire them in the middle of the season. So I don't think they're gonna repeat that. I think they're gonna wait to see if he's top 4, and then he's gone if he doesn't make it.
I think, and a lot of people, Pioli this and Pioli that. Just remember that Pioli, and no offense to a Scudetto winning side, it was not as strong as Juve. It was not as strong as Inter. It was not as strong as, in my opinion, a Napoli. He did what he did. He won a Scudetto with above mediocre side. Last year, it went the way it did because look at the players he had. What is a coach supposed to do? Now, a lot of fans are complaining, look at the players we had, Messias, Krunic, De Catalare. So it's either the players or the coach. Which is it? In my opinion, he wasn't given the tools to his disposal, so I can't really judge him on that season. And even, guys, we're judging a coach on a season where he finished 4th and made it to the Champions League semifinal. I mean, 4th, yeah, with Juve getting a point deduction, and we got a little lucky. But still, I promise to any of you, if I asked you at the beginning of last season, I will guarantee you 4th place right now in a Champions League semifinal. Albeit we lost to Inter, but let's not get into that. Every one of you would have said, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that right now. So I don't think last season was a failure in terms of results. The play could have been better short, but look at the players we had at our disposal. Now, this season with the transfer market we have, Pioli's asking for this, this, and this, and this. He got this, this, and this, and this. And he did have more say in the transfer market. So I can start judging Pioli from this season. And I can say if this season he doesn't at least accomplish fourth place and make it out of the group, because I think realistically those are our objectives: top four finish and out of the group, possibly a quarterfinal if we're lucky with the draw, which I don't know with this group of death now, with us being in the third
Yeah.
pot. But fourth place and out of the group, I think is realistic. Honestly don't think Scudetto, at least in terms of what Juve has no Europe, Inter has, pretty much a same squad, strong squad. They sold Onana, but they got Sommer. Um, we have three competitions, three full competitions, a lot of difficult games at the beginning. But top four and Champions League, getting out of the group stage, I think will be a success for Pioli. Anything less than that, especially not top four, and not getting that Champions League money, and I think he's out. So this is the first season where at least I will start judging Pioli.
Hmm.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Gio.
that's
Do
yeah.
your rant.
Nah. So shout out to him. But top five this year, I like because the points coefficient. So us in the Premier League we get the fifth spot.
Is
So
that
you could say
confirmed?
top five. Yeah, everybody's been saying it.
Okay.
Sure
Because
on
we had the
that? That's
most
crazy.
teams in Europe, like semifinals and finals last year.
It used to be like top
Oh,
Of
you mean
what
the
three.
new?
European?
You mean
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the
you
there's
mean the
something
new
coefficient.
weird. Yeah,
format?
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I think.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
It's not
okay.
based on the coefficient. Yeah, you're right, Gio. They're calculating it based on how well you actually perform in Europe. Like
yeah,
how deep do you go? How
yeah,
you know.
Wow.
Um,
But
yeah,
this is
so
the new format of Champions League year after
yeah,
this season, right?
that is yes, that
yeah.
is
Okay.
true.
More teams,
which
more
I
teams.
which I completely am against. But I think it's the stupidest idea in the world.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I just had this kind of feeling. Um, I don't even know if I was really fully um, backing it, but I had the feeling last season. Obviously, the league was going down. We are going down in the league um, in terms of the top four, and it seems like we kind of put a bunch of eggs in the Champions League basket. Um, so if it looks like that's going to happen again this season, I mean, we'd be lucky to get out of the group. I think we're going to be total group of death. I think we're pot three. We're going to be facing big teams. Um, you know, I I think if Pioli can't keep us high and up in the league, it's definitely probably gonna be another situation where it seems like, at least to me, we're kind of putting eggs in the Champions League basket and hoping that we make the run to the final and maybe win in the event that at that point in the season we're out of the top four and we're still in the Champions League. It's gonna be a do or die because if we win the Champions League, we're back in and we're pot one. But I don't know.
No, I mean, I think it's big here for Pioli. Just play the players where they're gonna be suited, and we could do it. Like last time before the podcast cut off. I'm a dreamer, bro. I feel that we have the same team as the 2018 2019 Liverpool team. That they leaked goals, but they played heavy metal football. So Pioli, take your finger up your out of your butt and play that heavy metal football, baby. And let's get out here. We got Leao with pace. We got Chukwueze. We got Pulisic who has pace on him. And then if Okafor ends up taking over for Giroud, which I hope, but that's not what the reports are saying, he could drop in and play the Firmino role. Firmino wasn't a really prolific striker. He was doing assists and he was doing all the dirty work. So I have high hopes that Pioli gets it together. If not, I mean, I've been talking about Palladino for the last year. But I don't think that will be till the summer. They'll bring in like a Gattuso to whip all these guys into shape just so we make Champions League. Especially if these first 10 games don't come up the way that they are good. Like say we get 12 points out of the 30, then Pioli's gonna be on the chopping block. But to me, I have high hopes. I think we have a lot of talent, and if they mesh, then to me, I think our team is suited for Champions League run. Maybe not league because we're leaking goals left and right. But in the Champions League, you don't have to really be defensive like
Yeah.
that.
So where do you guys think the top four will be in the league next season, and how far will we go in the Champions League? What's your predictions? We will hold you to this.
Yeah, we'll review at the end of the
We will
season.
review. VAR review.
I think if Juve somehow do keep Vlahovic and they don't get Lukaku, which I don't know why they would pull that trade off, they've not really weakened their team. They've got rid of some dead weight in the forms of what's his name, Zakaria
Yep.
and God, I can't remember, but they got rid of a few players. Bonucci's apparently signing for Lazio, but Juve
Mm.
unfortunately has no Europe to play for. They're
Mm-hmm.
fully concentrated on the league. It's been a while since they won it. They have a lot of anger in them because of last season, because they're angry because they got caught. I mean, because they feel like they've been, um, somewhat crucified and unjustly punished. So I'm afraid I think it is going to be Juve winning the Scudetto. If not
Mm.
them, I would say Inter just because, God, their their midfield is so strong. But I don't know what a player, and they've improved their team. They picked up Tudam. Um, it's either one of them, but I'm leaning towards Juve. Top four is going to be Juve. Well, yeah, Juve, and then I think Inter, Napoli, obviously second, third, and then us fourth, and us possibly fighting for second or third.
Mm. What do you think, Anthony?
Um, no, I gotta go Milan first. Just I just have to.
You can't
Um,
say it. That's bad luck,
I know. No, when I say it, it's fine. Okay.
man.
Um, yeah, I think it's going to be Inter, then Juve, and then Napoli is gonna be fourth. I think they're gonna fall off a bit. I think they're not gonna be as dominant as they were last year. I don't think that's just gonna just yeah they yeah I just don't see that going at the same pace as last year. Um, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for Champions League, yeah, I just don't. I don't see a lot there. I don't see, like I said, with their last last whatever podcast that didn't go through. I just don't see that we have enough in the tank to focus on that too. I think we're just gonna, maybe I don't know if we're gonna get out of the group stage, to be honest.
What do you think, Gio?
Guys, this Champions League, like teams are weaker. Only Real Madrid, Manchester City are good. Arsenal first year back in the Champions League. Newcastle United, Union Berlin, Porto Benfica. Come on, guys. We gotta have more positivity on that. Like I said last time, not to jinx it. Like Alex said, we're gonna finish second in the league. And I have a dream, like Martin Luther King. I feel we make it this Champions League final.
Martin Luther Jew.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Something's been telling me this. Like, come on, man. We got pace and burnt today. It just depends on Pioli. Like you said, Ali, this is his year, big year for Pioli, and hopefully he does what he has to do.
Mm-hmm. I think the top 7 points wise is going to be really close, except for maybe the 6 and 7 spot. But I think it's going to be really, really close because Ali's right. Juve have no European focus this year. They're going to go hard for both the league and probably the Coppa Italia because they want to win something. Hopefully, they don't. Um, Inter, they're still strong, even though financially they're obviously in free fall ish. Um, Roma haven't quite added depth, but with Mourinho, you never know. Um, uh, Lazio, obviously, they're adding players. They played pretty well the second half of last season, so we'll see. Napoli, I mean, obviously they still have Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia, but with a new manager and a bunch of the other players going, who knows? And with our situation, who knows? With all these new players, it depends on the attitude and the mentality of the team. If we feel like too negative, it's going to bring us down. I felt like that kind of happened the second half of last season. We just kind of felt like we were in a rut, couldn't get out of it, and that just dragged us. Um, yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say Milan first, just because we got, well, what else am I gonna say? um, I think Juve second, Inter third, maybe, but it's gonna be so tight. I think really points wise, it's gonna be crazy tight. Fourth place, I say it's kind of a toss up between Atalanta and Napoli. I think Atalanta can maybe try to really shoehorn their way back in. Um, Napoli, I feel like they might start pretty well, but who knows if they can go the distance again. Um, uh, I think fifth, sixth, and seventh are probably a mix between like Atalanta, Napoli, Roma, Lazio. Um, Lazio probably might get the fifth spot. Um, I don't know. I think it's gonna be crazy tight in the league. Champions League. I hope we get out of the group. We're probably gonna get a group of death. Um, I think if we're out of the group, then we can go all the way. Maybe. Obviously we'll see what kind of draws and everything, how everything pans out. But um, I think everything's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be really tough. I hope we win. I hope we do. I hope we win some trophy this season. I really do. Um, all right. So, kind of the last thing is the Bologna game on Monday. What are your predictions, either formation, results? What do you guys think?
I think we'll go 4-3-3, Spence, and hopefully it clicks for Pulisic on the right. If not, hopefully Pioli makes a change at the 45th minute, And if he has to accommodate him, replace him with Krunic, do that switch, and then put Chukwueze on the right. That's all I can say. I mean, I like Bologna because it's a tough test. They're physical. They give you Charlie horses, and they let you know that they're there the whole game. And I'm glad Serie A did that because this team, we're still. I think we got. Did we get younger or am I?
No, I think our
I think
team
we.
average age is younger now.
Yeah, so we got younger, so these young puppies are gonna have to grow pretty fast because Bologna is no joke. So I'll say that we're gonna win 1-0. It's gonna be ugly.
Mhm.
These are purely type games, 1-0, and we'll get out there with heartburn, headaches, everything. And if you're at work, I mean, you might even dash your monitor. I don't.
Yeah, the people at my work are not going to be happy with me yelling and screaming probably during the game. What do you think, Anthony?
I think we're gonna be ready. I think we're gonna yeah. I think it's gonna be something like 2-0. I think we're going to just come out of the gate just ready to go. I think it's yeah. I think we're gonna smash through them. Ale?
Mm-hmm. I think LA might.
Um, I think I think the new signings are going to take a little bit to gel. Honestly, I think it's going to be a work in progress to beginning of the season. Hopefully, we get the kinks worked out sooner rather than later. I think it's going to be one of those tight games. I honestly think it's going to be a 2-1. Don't be surprised if we go down 1-0. I do think Giroud is going to score in this game because I think we played Bologna last season. At the beginning of the season, I think we went 2-0, 2-1, same way. And I know Giroud scored for sure because he had a lovely like kind of scissor kind of like finish in the box. I think it's going to be 2-1 for us with a Giroud goal. Everything else is left up to the imagination. It's not going to be pretty though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty. Yeah, I think it's not going to be pretty.
So I'm the
I
only
think
one
it's going to be
that's
pretty.
saying it's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But
We got
we'll
this on
see. I
recording.
mean, yeah, I think yeah, Pulisic is probably going to start on the right. Chukwueze will probably work his way into the game later on. Yeah, I think we're obviously going to be starting with Giroud. Um, I think it's probably going to be a similar. Lorenzo and chat said, yeah, probably same squad as the game against Monza, which I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I just hope that the team gels and works it out. They get into a rhythm, they get into a mentality. some positivity, and it starts against Bologna. I think we'll win, but yeah, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Ali's right. I wouldn't be surprised if we concede first, if we even concede twice, and somehow we work our way back in. So we'll see. I don't know. Any other thoughts before we end the podcast?
Thank you, Sadia, for having us wait another weekend to watch the game on Monday. We really appreciate you for doing that, knowing that we're the best. Like this is your best team outside of it, like the whole outside of Italy. And come on, guys. Like, stop putting us on a Monday, okay? You could put me on a Saturday at 3:30 a.m. Gio will be there with his coffee, doing a pregame chat with MWP. But but come on, man, don't put me on a Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have good luck on the Monday when I'm at work. When I'm working, that's true. I just have no. Every time I'll be working. Every time I look to the TV, it's just like, no, not good. But hey,
Yeah.
let's do before we end it. Let's look over the chat though, Spence.
Yeah.
Let's get some.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think.
Vegas Screamer.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Milan Pobega scored a screamer against Bologna last season. I don't know if I watched it honestly.
Yeah, we need.
it
You're
was an
already
early
gold in the
game.
league.
It was an early
Yeah.
game. It was an
Was
early
it
game.
okay?
Like 6 a.m. 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Remember we had 2 penalties that they didn't give us in that game. They stomped
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Ante Rebic's foot, and then they
Yeah.
cleared like they just decked somebody in the penalty, and they said, "Now move up, get up."
Yeah. Because
So,
we have Bologna on Monday. The next Sunday is Torino at home.
Is it
With
Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
is it Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
Saturday. But then I think the next game is Roma on a Friday,
Friday.
right? Come on. I mean, why
Leave
are
it
you
to the
putting that game?
Italians.
Yeah.
Leave it to these backwards Italians, to the one most marketable team in the U.S., okay, that just bought 2 American players that can give you so much brand recognition in America,
Mm-hmm.
to put the Milan games, especially, okay, Bologna, it is what it is. It is an opener. To put the opener and the Roma game in the first 3 games on a Monday and a Friday. This is why Italy is going nowhere. No,
Yeah.
but it is backwards. I mean, backwards thinking.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
think
look
the
at the
Premier
national
League?
team too right now. It's a
Yeah,
mess.
yeah, good.
Yeah, Lorenzo in the chat. Yeah, he agrees. Yeah, the issue with Serie A schedule is that they do not consider international market at all. I completely agree. For whatever reason, they just think Italy only. I I'm dumbfounded, but it's Italy. Is there any
And you
surprise?
know what's the worst part, guys? That they put us on a Monday and Arsenal play on the Muddings on a Monday. Also that same Monday. So the ratings are gonna be gaga, especially
Yeah,
here in the States.
yeah. Lorenzo's saying, yeah, the money they get is close to nothing. The only thing they do is splash games on more days just to make more money locally, which I
Yeah.
think is probably true. Um, but yeah, I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah, and
and
then
then
Inter's on at 9 a.m. and Juventus is at 9 a.m. It was
the Derby
probably
is a 9 a.m. game.
yeah,
Yeah. Um,
They're all 9 a.m. games.
yeah,
Weekend
well,
games, I
yeah,
hope, right?
yeah,
the
because
Derby is
yeah,
at one a weekend, but it is a 9 a.m. game.
yeah,
That's not the 12 or 11:45.
which is better, but
Yeah.
yeah, we need the 11. Yeah, we need the later game. We
Yeah.
can't have afternoon games.
Yeah.
We don't do that great on
Speaking
those.
of, Italian, you know, wonderfulness, the San Siro project is definitely, not going to happen. They won't allow for the demolition of the San Siro. I can kind of understand it is a historic stadium. It's a historic site, but it just adds more complication to us trying to get a new stadium. Um, I don't care what Inter does; they can go play in the streets for all I care. We want our stadium. Um, so it
Well,
looks like
we got approved for outside, like not San
it's San
Siro. It's
Donato,
a little
right?
bit further. God, what is it called? I
Is it
can't even
San
remember the
Giovanni?
area, but it's
I think it's San Donato.
San Giovanni Sesto, something like that. Yeah,
I
I
think
don't remember,
Sesto
but
was
it's like
like in the north.
Was it?
northeast
I can't
of
remember
Milan.
what area, but we have our own area approved
Yeah,
and everything. So
here,
hopefully,
I'll double check here on Google. But I think San Donato is like the yep, it's the southeast side of
Okay.
Milan, outside of the city
okay,
center.
okay.
There is the area though that they're proposing for the stadium. I do believe there was multiple reports that Jerry and Co, the heads of at Milan, did buy out most of the rights to that land. So it looks like we're going to build a stadium down there. Does look like there is some public transportation, like a metro line at least, that goes down there, and stuff like that. So hopefully there's enough transportation for locals to get to the game. Um, but obviously, for the stadium project is gonna freaking take forever. So yeah. Yeah, Lorenzo says, yeah, San Donato. There's a subway there and train station plus two biggest highways connection to the city. So yeah, so hopefully that's where we get our stadium. I just care about getting our own stadium. I hope it's at least a 70,000 seat stadium. If they do less, why? You've looked at the attendance numbers for the past 2 seasons. We've been the highest, I think, in Serie A in attendance. We almost sell out most of the games. I think it has to be a 70,000 seat stadium. So, I don't know. Any other thoughts, guys, before we end the podcast?
No, that's it, man. Oh my.
Yeah, just
Maldini shouldn't have been fired.
he's still on.
That's a discussion for a different day. But I guess I'll close this out. So everyone, thank you for tuning in on Discord. Again, this is the home of our chat and our podcast Discord. We record here live for our club. We will post this later to our YouTube and Spotify channels. Follow us on there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, we are on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on those for other club announcements. But otherwise, we have moved from Telegram to Discord. Join us on Discord. We will be back next week, obviously, to recap the game against Bologna and to preview the game against Torino. And obviously talk about any other Mercato and other Milan things that happen in between now and then. Again, I'm your host, Spencer. I'm glad Anthony, Gio, Ale were here to join us. Thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks, guys.
And we will be there again Tuesdays at 8 p.m. That is when we do the podcast. Tune in, 8 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. We'll be here.
All right.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Forza Milan, guys.
Yeah,
let's
Forza
get
Milan.
these
Forza
3
Milan.
points in the day, and let's start dancing on Bologna.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
All right.